Donald Trump's rise to prominence was tied to his status as a lifelong New Yorker. But since his 2016 election, he has become increasingly disillusioned with the state where he made his name and with the man who leads it, Governor Cuomo. But yesterday, President Trump met with Mr. Cuomo at the White House to discuss their latest disagreement over a ban on New York-based applications to trusted traveler programs. A statement from the Department of Homeland Security called it a productive meeting, but said discussions were continuing. A spokeswoman for the governor said in a statement that Mr. Trump would follow up with Mr. Cuomo next week. The ban is just one of several topics that have put the president's contentious relationship with New York on display. Trusted traveler. Last week, the Department of Homeland Security barred New Yorkers from joining trusted traveler programs, including Global Entry, which allow Americans to quickly pass through airports and borders. The change was prompted by a 2019 New York law that allowed undocumented immigrants to get driver's licenses. The law also restricted immigration officials from gaining access to data collected by the state's Department of Motor Vehicles. Federal officials said the lack of access to DMV records would impede efforts to keep our nation secure. Mr. Cuomo, a third-term Democrat, accused the Trump administration of extortion over the trusted traveler ban and said the state planned to sue. Since then, the governor has offered access to DMV records of trusted traveler applicants on a case-by-case basis. Residency and taxes. Mr. Trump severed an important tie to New York in September, when he declared himself a resident of Palm Beach, Florida. He confirmed the decision in a tweet that criticized New York's elected officials. "I have been treated very badly by the political leaders of both the city and state," he wrote. "Few have been treated worse." The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is seeking the release of 8 years of Mr. Trump's business and personal tax records, a dispute that is now before the U.S. Supreme Court. Editor's picks. He was fearless on a football field. But he sensed something wasn't right. The classic novel that saw pleasure as a path to freedom. Tina Brown on the future of the royal family. No longer a Manhattan resident, Mr. Trump will most likely avoid New York State's top tax rate of nearly 9% and New York City's top rate of nearly 4%. Florida does not have a personal income tax. Mr. Cuomo responded on Twitter, saying, "Good riddance. It's not like it real Donald Trump paid taxes here anyway." Signs. For years, Mr. Trump's name was plastered on buildings across the city, but it has recently disappeared from several of them. The Trump Soho Hotel, for instance, is now called the Dominic. And tenants at 2 Trump-licensed apartment complexes on the Upper West Side voted to remove signage with the name. Mr. Trump's company itself has removed or minimized signs reading "Trump Organization" at a carousel and 2 ice rinks it operates in Central Park.